Everest today is in a sense a graveyard. Deaths on Everest are a sad part of mountain climbing history. Since the summit was first climbed in 1953, more than 300 people have died while attempting to reach or descend the peak. Causes of death. They are varied and include avalanches, falls, frostbite, and altitude sickness, which can lead to brain or lung swelling. Everest is the highest mountain in the world, which attracts not only trained climbers, but also amateur tourists from around the world. Experienced climbers say that only a few decades ago, only trained athletes climbed Everest and other 8,000ers. Expeditions were many times less than they are now. They were held under the auspices and with the financial support of the state whose citizens were participating athletes. In such a situation, on Everest, the ethical rules of true mountaineering were observed. If someone was in trouble, the comrades rescued him without hesitation. The value of another person's life could not be lower than the possibility of reaching the summit oneself. And cases requiring rescue work were rare, but today dozens of people pass you by and no one lends a helping hand. Why did this happen? Business. Tourism in Nepal has become a major source of revenue. Commercial travel agencies emerged and took on the role of expedition organizers. Amateurs began to climb Everest. An experienced person realizes early on that something has gone wrong and makes a decision to descend. An inexperienced person can miss this moment and go too far. In the past, no one would take an ordinary person on a sports expedition. Money didn't decide everything. An inexperienced person would be a threat to all the other participants and to the success of the whole expedition. Now this business on the mountain gathered not only friends, athletes, but also ordinary people who may be bad themselves or they overestimated their strength. You are already dying, but next to you is moving at the limit of strength. If everyone will save everyone, then every hike would turn into one sloshy rescue operation. The death zone. As cynical as it may sound, the bodies of some dead people serve as reference points for new groups of tourists. According to mountaineering rules, anything above 6,000 meters above sea level is the death zone. Here the principle of every man for himself applies. From here, even the injured or dying most often no one will take out. Every breath, every movement is too hard. Why don't the bodies come down? If it is difficult to help even a weakened person, what to speak about an immobile 60 to 100 kilograms weight? At the moment there is no equipment capable of carrying out rescue operations at high altitudes, and to lower a corpse manually, you need a lot of experienced people and time. If one of the relatives decides to do it, the question is about hundreds of thousands of dollars. The higher the altitude, the more expensive it is. Such a descent puts the transport team in conditions of great risk, and the question arises, is it worth risking the living for the dead? It is worth it to cross the Khumbu icefall. The photo shows one crack, but there are dozens of them. Why the bodies are not thrown into the abyss? It's simple, they freeze and it is too energy consuming to move them to the cliff, so they are simply covered with cloth. The situation with rubbish on the mountain is also complicated. When lives are at risk, few people care about the cleanliness of the slopes. Yet there are many instances of heroic rescue, including at the cost of one's own life and of non-intervention that defy logic. These have been compared to heroic feats. One of them we will share today. Sergei Kafanov, a Russian mountaineering guide, found the Italian mark at an altitude of 8,300 meters. He did not give any signs of life, but the experienced Sergei immediately determined that it was brain swelling and dragged him to his tent. Sergei tried to give the climber an injection as he had spent almost 2 days in the snow, but the syringe froze. The French women came to the rescue and gave him the necessary drug. Marco regained consciousness, but was completely dehydrated. Then Sergei made a life-threatening decision to drag the Italian to the nearest camp. Sergei's words from the interview: "I started to drag him through the snow for 9 hours. 2 kilometers. When I was dragging him, I didn't even think of leaving him." People recall that when Sergei brought Mark to the camp at an altitude of 7,700 meters, no one could understand who was in distress, Sergei or Marco. He was completely exhausted. It turned out that the Italian was part of a team of 4 people, but during the snowfall he got lost. The team decided to descend without him. The climbers share their impressions of the rescue. They say that Sergei was fully aware that it was a huge risk. For Sergei, it was a life-threatening feat, and the Italian can be considered a second birth, a string of deaths. Spring and autumn are the best times of the year to climb Everest. During these periods, there are suitable days for the assault, and there are unsuitable days. Naturally, everyone leaves the high-altitude camps on good days and stays in tents on bad days. Sometimes bad weather lasts for many days or even weeks. After that, almost everyone goes out on the route and huge queues of several hundreds of people are formed. What is it that attracts everyone? The mountain won't let go. A complex chain of emotions pulls you to the heights. Beyond this world, your whole life revolves around the thought of the summit of Everest. The realization that the world is in the palm of their hands is infinite happiness. Despite all these difficulties and risks to life, Everest continues to attract people from all over the world, striving to conquer this peak. A dream for which it no longer matters whether you live or die.